In the top stories, tropical storm watch for St. Kitts and Nevis. Herschel Walker confirmed as first U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas in 15 years, and the African Union's partnership with UN essential to confronting threats facing Africa. Welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of October 2025, and I am Jasmine Thomas. A tropical storm watch is now in effect for St. Kitts and Nevis. This means tropical storm conditions could affect the islands within 48 hours. Residents should begin putting their hurricane plans into action now. At 5 o'clock this morning, the center of Tropical Storm Jerry was located near 13.3 north, 50.7 west. That's about 845 miles east-southeast of St. Kitts and Nevis. Jerry is moving west-northwest at 23 miles per hour. This motion is expected to slow with a turn to the north-northwest, likely by Friday. Maximum sustained winds are 50 miles per hour, and Jerry is forecast to strengthen into a hurricane by Thursday. Winds extend outward up to 125 miles from the center. Current forecasts suggest Jerry's core could pass near or just north of the northern Leeward Islands late Thursday into Friday. A tropical storm warning could be issued within the next 24 hours. All residents of St. Kitts and Nevis are urged to stay informed and take action now to protect life and property. And earlier today, all schools and early childhood centers across St. Kitts and Nevis were closed due to unstable weather conditions affecting the islands. The decision was made following the passage of a tropical wave, which brought intense lightning and periods of heavy rainfall during the early morning hours. While schools were closed, government offices remained open as the system was not linked to Tropical Storm Jerry, which continues to track over the central Atlantic. According to local forecasts, heavy rain is expected to taper off by mid-morning, though lightning activity remained a concern and was identified as a primary hazard. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, confirmed that this morning's severe weather was unrelated to Tropical Storm Jerry and urged the public to remain alert and monitor official channels for further updates. Once again, schools and early childhood centers were closed today, but government operations continued as normal. We continue to bring you the latest on any developing weather systems. The Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, has announced that cabinet-level discussions are set to begin on the matter of revenue sharing between St. Kitts and Nevis. Speaking with reporters during his roundtable discussion on Tuesday, Prime Minister Drew revealed that his cabinet and the Cabinet of Nevis Island Administration will soon meet to formally address the long-standing issue. He emphasized the importance of dialogue and cooperation between both administrations as the Federation seeks a fair and sustainable approach to how national revenue is allocated.
The federal cabinet has looked at it, and the report was passed on to the Premier of Nevis and the Nevis Island Administration to have their own view of it and to study it as well. And I think that is basically completed on both sides, and thus we will meet, and that information will be shared with you, the public, and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
That was Prime Minister of St. Christopher and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. And now for a look at news on the regional scene. After nearly 15 years without a U.S. ambassador in Nassau, former NFL star and political candidate Herschel Walker has been confirmed by the U.S. Senate as the next ambassador to the Bahamas. The vote held Tuesday came as part of a sweeping confirmation of more than 100 nominees, enabled by recent changes to Senate rules designed to speed up the approval process for President Donald Trump's picks. Walker, age 63, fills a post that has been vacant since 2011, one of the only 5 ambassadorial positions worldwide, including Bolivia and Cuba, left unfilled for over a decade. The appointment comes amid heightened U.S. concern over China's expanding influence in the region. Having an ambassador in place is more than important. China is aggressively projecting power and malign influence, Walker said during his Senate confirmation hearing last month. It built a nearly $3 billion deep-water port and has made other investments in sensitive sectors that could have implications for U.S. national security. A State Department spokesperson said Walker will be a true champion of the America First foreign policy agenda and that his appointment would help advance U.S. interests in the Bahamas, located less than 60 miles from Florida. Internationally, Parfait Onanga Ayanga, head of the UN Office to the African Union, told the Security Council on Tuesday that the partnership between the United Nations and the African Union, as well as with other regional organizations, forms the foundation of an effective networked multilateralism. This strong and enduring partnership between the United Nations and the African Union, as well as with other regional organizations, forms the foundation of an effective, networked multilateralism essential to confronting the complex, evolving, and interconnected threats that today weigh on peace, security, development, and human rights, particularly in Africa, Onanga Ayanga said. Mohamed Fathi Ahmed Idris, permanent observer of the African Union to the United Nations, echoed that sentiment. Africa is confronting an unprecedented web of security threats. We must work together to address these challenges, from Libya to the Sahel, to cut any connection of threats to the Lake Chad Basin region and West Africa. The same determination is required to achieve peace in Sudan, prevent an escalation of conflicts in the East and Horn of Africa, as well as facilitate all efforts for stability in the DRC and the Great Lakes region. We must also continue to support the government and people of Mozambique in their efforts to continue keeping its northern region safe and free from terrorist threats. And now for a look at the weather. A flash flood advisory remains in effect for St. Kitts and Nevis until noon today. This advisory is in response to periodic heavy showers and thunderstorms currently affecting the area due to a trough system over the islands. Residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should be on alert as minor flooding is already occurring or expected to develop in some locations. While widespread damage is not expected, there may be significant inconvenience, especially in areas where water collects easily, such as streets, drains, and near streams or creeks. Even 1 foot of flowing water can be enough to sweep a vehicle off the road. If you encounter flooded roads, turn around. It's safer to delay your travel or move to higher ground. The Met Office Service is closely monitoring the situation and will issue further updates if conditions worsen. Stay tuned to local radio and television for the latest weather information and possible warnings. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.